I'm Anita, and I help introverted business owners build social media strategies that feel really like I say U-shaped, so that they feel really comfortable showing up as themselves rather than feeling that they have to portray like an extroverted version of themselves, which a lot of social media people say that they have to. So my message is you don't have to be like that, just be you, and I'll teach you how to build a social media strategy around that.
And I love this niche because I'm a big introvert, you're a big introvert. Social media marketing can feel very hard as an introvert. But I also love this niche because it's one of the things people share to me. I'm an introvert. I don't like being in groups, or I want to create groups of people that are introverted. Will they actually join a group? So it's like double benefit of chatting about this niche of do introverts do groups, which they of course do, but it comes with its own challenges, but also
Yeah.
because we resonate with it as well. So back when we chatted 9 months ago, like, what was the frustration you were seeing in your business that led you to want to create a group program in the first place?
Yeah, so before we chatted, I had a mini version of the group program that I've got now. So I had a 4 week, 4 week program. And I felt like I was getting clients through it. It was really popular, but I felt like I was just saying the same thing over and over again. And because of the way I designed it, like all the modules, all the content was the same. It was just the people who were different. So although I was getting different questions from the people who were doing the one-to-one, the content essentially was the same. So I just felt like it just didn't light me up anymore, if that makes sense. It just felt, "Oh, I'm just saying this again." Even though obviously with my clients, I was like making sure they didn't get that vibe, but internally I was just like, "Oh." So I thought group program would be like the answer to not doing that.
And for me, like, the place you started is the ideal place. Like, you've got a system that's working, but it's
Mm.
one on one, it's repetitive. So you're seeing these clear patterns. And then, so all we're doing basically is changing the delivery model to make that program more scalable. And in doing that, we often make the program longer. Longer suits evergreen programs for sure. We step up that transformation, we stick with them longer to walk them through and get them that full result. So, what was your vision? What did you want to have?
So I wanted to build my signature program. So the group program's been on my mind for ages, but I just wasn't sure like how to get started or even because I'd been on other people's like signature programs before. And I've always thought, oh my God, I'd love to do something like this, but I just didn't know like how to start on where with all the tech and just in on the design side and stuff. Yeah, I just thought I was because I had people coming through the one-to-one stuff. I thought this would be a good time to scale it and make it my signature thing. And you're right, it has become longer and I have added a lot more to what my basic one was, my basic one. But I'm seeing transformations and like really nice results early on from the people who are in it. So yeah, that's what's driving me.
Fab. So paint a picture for everyone. Like, how would you describe like the core steps you took in Amplify to get your group program off the ground? What did we work on together?
So the first big thing was like, who is it for? And the whole messaging part. So when I started in Amplify, the whole introvert message was born within Amplify. So I was trying to figure out like, how do I, because there's so many people offering social media strategy, like how can I differentiate myself? So I literally stripped back to a whole U-shaped message and I was like, okay, who am I attracting? Who am I? I've went through the program I teach my clients to go through. So who am I? Who do I want to work with? Who am I already working with? I'm like, it's introverts. Like the whole introversion thing, like I I seem to be like I was drawn into that world at that time. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna see what happens if I like just pitch this to introverts. But then we also had the chat about social media strategy being too broad as a topic. And then I'd started with doing just focusing on like social media strategy for Instagram first before I niched into the introverts thing, which was interesting as well, because I found like, although most of my clients did come from Instagram, for some reason, it just didn't land as much as the whole social media strategy for introverts messaging did. So it was a whole testing, like the start was a big testing exercise to see what message would land with my audience and where I felt comfortable as well. So yeah, it was the messaging first.
And let
And
me
then
touch
one
on that a second
from,
because I think a lot of people come into Amplify or they have, like, yeah, I just want to create a group program and I know who I help. I know what I help them with. This sort of like we can get a little bit complacent, especially when we're established to a point, like we know our stuff. And it's the kind of piece that, yeah, but with group, you have to go more niche. And you have to test. It's not just like we can sit behind a laptop and decide who the program is for. You actually have to go
Mm.
speak to those people. And Anita's journey of getting more specific on the who and then getting more specific on the platform and then realizing actually that didn't resonate. We need to go broader. So the who is very specific, but the kind of the strategy is broader. That's like the creative process that I think a lot of people underestimate, and they take a group program to market that doesn't sell and then wonder why it didn't sell. And it was often like the concept in the first place wasn't validated, wasn't strong enough, wasn't messaged in a compelling way. And when you land on it, then we've got that foundation to build on, right? So what did you do next?
Yeah, so once I figured out what I wanted to do, then it was just a case of speaking to people like in my audience. And so I had the idea was validated. Then it was like so going through your gentle 10 and getting people to just speaking to people and asking them what they thought, showing them the frameworks that you help us create, and just getting feedback on the bits of your triangle. And to be fair, everyone loved it. So it was pretty easy to get like the first few people into the program and just to gain interest because I knew I was on the right track because I'd done the program before. It was just a case of like fine tuning it. And because I'm like building as I go now as well, I think that was a nice message because I was just transparent, like for the first lot saying it's beta, I'm building it as I go. I'm not a whole fan of, I need a deadline. So if I left myself to build the whole thing and then sell it, I would never have got it done. So the whole like selling it before it's built and getting people on and I just being transparent and telling them like, this is beta, I'm building as I go, but framing it as they're helping me build it, it's being shaped into something that people actually want rather than what I think they want.
Totally. Cool. So you figured out the messaging, you validated it, you took it to market, you had the conversations, you sold it, you're creating it as you go, which is what we recommend in Amplify, by the way. A lot of people get in their heads like, I can't sell something before I've created it. We're not selling something. We've created a framework. We know the pathway. We
Mm.
know the messaging. You just haven't hit record on your modules and done all of that massive workload because it is a way bigger chunk of work than you think. The content creation it's a creative process. It takes a long time. Everyone in Amplify knows this. We call it like this the messy middle bit where people will say, I'm in the middle of creating my modules whilst generating these, whilst growing my audience, whilst running my sales process. There's a lot of balls to juggle, right? So there's a lot of pieces you need to line up. So, Anita, what have you achieved as a result?
So I now have my signature group program, which has been in my head for like absolutely ages. I'd say like a good few years, but now it's like there to market and I'm genuinely feeling like really good about it. And like the people I'm attracting to it are like my sweet spot clients, the people who I genuinely love to work with. And the whole like introverts being in a group thing works. Like I'm really conscious to keep it like a small group. So it's like a small like collaborative community rather than I don't want it to get like too big, but it's fine because you've taught us how to manage like the numbers and stuff. So yeah, it's on track to becoming like my signature, which is what I wanted from it. And I'm
Amazing.
not having to do like launches.
So that was going to be my next question. Like everyone's, I feel like always curious on like, why were you interested in the Evergreen approach? Like, why not a cohort? So what was your main motivation for setting up an Evergreen program rather than a start-stop cohort program?
So I'm a big fan of the whole launch thing. Being an introvert drains me anyway. So that's just like, oh my God, the whole showing up and doing all the videos and all that I just can't. So the whole message of you like not launching thing attracted me to that as well. And I want people to like come into the program when they're ready. So my whole like message about being U-shaped and making sure that the client's at the right place to receive the training so that they actually get what they need out of it. And then I can help them at a point when they're ready to receive the stuff as well. So we both win. Because I'm not here to force people to do with deadlines and stuff. That just doesn't sit well with me. So the evergreen thing works for me because as I'm chatting to people on a monthly basis, I can lead them into my program if I think it's a good fit.
Yeah. So you can work with your natural lead flow, enroll fewer leads a month. You don't have to launch, which is draining as an introvert, but also it pushes you to use like countdown timers and deadlines, pushes
Yeah.
you to buy. You can just allow your audience to buy on their timeline, which means you have to be good at marketing. But other than that, you can work with your natural lead flow, which is feels great, right?
Yeah, definitely. If it was much easier as well, I feel like launch should give you like like there's a pressure because if you have like numbers in mind and if you don't hit that, then it's just oh I haven't done it, and it's easy to beat yourself up. But I found when you take the pressure off and you go through your gentle 10 and stuff, You're just naturally having conversations with people through social media. Like the calls I've been having, I haven't even had to like sell. It's just a conversation. People are like, yeah, I'm in. And it feels really easy because we've done the step, like I've put in the steps that you've taught us, and I'm asking questions in the way that you've taught us in Amplify. So it doesn't feel like you're selling, even though you are. And it just feels easy for the prospective client and me. Doesn't feel icky.
Awesome. That's awesome. So how would you describe your experience of working together?
Good. I like how your like Amplify is amazing. Like you think you're marketing as like creating a group program, but there's so much more in there. Like you teaching the sales, the marketing, like the mindset stuff. You got your mindset calls and then the ad stuff. There's so much in there that you know you need, but you don't expect to have in the program. And just having like you and the ladies, the whole community and the Slack channel to jump into whenever you need like moral support and stuff. I wasn't like an active member, but I knew it was there when I needed it. So when I did with the copy stuff, like if I did need feedback on stuff, I knew that was there to like that. So my lead magnet, for example, that's been a whole new, I've had a whole new version from it, from Amplified, which has been helpful because I've shared it with the ladies in the group and the copy coach. So now I'm moving on to using that to do my ads with the help of the ads. So it's not just the group program. Like we've got that, but then you help us. You're not just like it's your group program. That's it. You can go now, bye. You help us. You make sure we've got all the stuff we need to market it and make it a viable thing going forward.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear you say that. That's great. I love watching people create their lead magnets as well, because it goes to Lauren, the copy coach, and then it goes to Sophie, the
Yeah,
ad strategist. He's like, we need to tweak it like this. And you just end up with something compelling and powerful because it's had like different experts' feedback who are coming at
yeah.
it from a different angle, like good copy and then for ads.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting for me, like obviously as a marketer as well. It's just interesting how their different brains work because we've all got different angles and nothing right or wrong. It's all about testing and stuff and just taking what you need from what everyone's saying. But it's just nice to have the expertise in the group to call on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite hard for me to get across that Amplify is about more than creating a group program. It's like the whole marketing ecosystem.
Definitely.
Because people want the group program. I'm like, yeah, the group program great, but that's just the delivery model. Then we have to fill it, which means you have to up level everything you're doing. But then mindset is a huge part of it, isn't it? Like having the
Yeah.
support. And this is why I love group programs, because when you're in a shared environment where everyone's after the same goal, so all of the group goals are super relevant, everyone's got this shared momentum, like it's just where magic happens. My humble opinion. So, question, what is your biggest takeaway from the last 9 months?
Honestly, it would be like go with your gut. So you know how at the beginning where I was like, when we said we need to niche the program into social media for Instagram, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure because I do LinkedIn as well. And then the whole introvert thing, if I could feel like it was the right decision. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I'm just gonna go with it. But I think go with your gut, and it's very easy to like second guess yourself when you're in a group environment as well. But just trusting what you're doing and to just try things out and yeah, just going with your gut and trying things out and like trusting the process and not putting too much on the sales thing. Just go through the process and like the leads will come kind of thing is what's helped me on this. Now I'm on this stage now.
Yeah. And I love that because, like, when you have the right offer, it is less about the sell and it's more about asking people questions to see if they're the right fit
Yeah.
and then showing them the offer. And I think people really overcomplicate it. They think they need funnels or a webinar that converts or all of this stuff that we're taught. And if you don't have an offer that people read and go, yeah, that sounds really good, then you've missed like the foundational step and all of the funnels in the world are not going to sell the thing.
It's so important because I tried to sell it like I tried to do Silent Storm like 3 times, I'd say, before like I landed on the right message and the right product because I tried loads of different versions before and it just wasn't on my own. I was like, oh no, I've got someone because someone said, oh, you've got a 4-week program anyway. Just stick it up, just put it up that you've got a group. I'm like, it's not that easy. Like, yeah, just do it. So I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And it doesn't work.
This
You need to have a proper process. Which you to words. So thank you.
So what are you looking forward to next in your business?
So I'm looking forward to finishing like recording all the modules. just having this signature group program and focusing on that as being my like one main thing so that you can just free up time for me, like in terms of so I can do stuff with family and friends, and then just focus on getting my marketing, focus on my marketing, connecting with my audience rather than thinking I've got like this to build is my main aim now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, would you recommend Amplify? And if so, who would you recommend it to?
Yeah, definitely recommend it. I would recommend it to anyone who has got. And I feel like you need a viable. You need to have sold like a one-to-one offer, like many times first, or have an idea of what it is that you want to sell. And then, yeah, if you want to free up your time and leverage your time and scale it, so you're serving more people than on a one-to-one model, then yeah, I definitely recommend it to people who are who have got something they're already selling, but they just want to scale it up, amplify it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anita, for sharing your experiences. It was super awesome working with you. You are watching this and you like the sound of what we're talking about. You are stacked with your one on one. You want to create a more leveraged model and you're adjusted in the Evergreen model because you don't want to get sucked into exhausting high pressure launches. I'd love you to come find out more about Amplify. I actually have a kickoff call next week with the last group that will join before late September because I take August off. So the benefit of joining now is you get August tagged on for free, access to all the community, our content, our mentors. We just don't have live calls during the August holidays, just through August, not through July. So if you want more information, just comment below Amplify and let's jump into the DMs, have a quick chat about it. I hope you enjoyed watching and have a fabulous day. Thanks everyone. Bye.